All right, go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Passion Project podcast that passes for performance on pop culture. I am one of three hosts, Darin Duncan. On the left side or right side of your screen, really doesn't matter to me. His name is Audie Marsh, and in the middle is the very lovely Brittany Marsh. How are you two related? That's my first question.
So,
I'm the old hag.
we're related by well, she's from West Virginia, and I'm from Alabama. Her cousin married my brother, and then we met at a family reunion.
Makes tons of sense. I really love the trailer that you guys are in. It looks luxurious. How
Yeah,
old are you, Audie?
I am 37, almost at 38.
I
thought she
forget
was
my age
older.
all the time. I gotta ask my old lady, like, am I turning 35 this year or 36? Brittany, how old are you? 24?
29.
29.
Yeah.
So the age gap isn't too far. We got 29, 37, you said, and I'm
Yes.
35. So we all kind of grew up in the same era somewhat. Would you consider yourself an 80s baby or a 90s baby? Because like I
Late
was
80s.
born in 86, but I don't think I'm an 80s kid. I'm a 90s kid because I grew up in the 90s. So like what would you consider yourself?
Being born in the 90s, I feel like I can I mesh more with the 80s and early 90s.
Do you got older siblings that showed you the stuff from the 80s, or did your parents show you the stuff from the 80s, or did you just find it on your own?
My pops is how I got a lot of my older taste and like
Okay.
music and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
What's some of the first things he showed you?
Audio Slave and Godsmack,
Okay.
some of their first albums.
What'd you watch as a little kid? Like cartoons? What kind of toys did you play with? What movies did you like?
I grew up watching Ren and Stimpy, Rugrats,
Rugrats is my jam.
Hey Arnold, Cat Dog, Rocket Power.
I see. All right. So you're a little bit, our curve is a little bit different. I remember Rocket Power, but like my younger nephews watched those, but I was a Rugrat fan like a motherfucker. Loved Rugrats. I totally was a Nickelodeon kid, 100%. I'd get home from school. I didn't want to go outside that much. I'd watch Nickelodeon all fucking day long. Ren and Stimpy, not so much. It grossed me out. I hated Ren and Stimpy, man. I didn't like it. They'd show a close-up of pimples on a butt. They'd show like a cat litter box. I'm like, this is fucking disgusting.
I loved Ren
But
and Stimpy.
I know you do. Like you totally love it. And what's strange is on the other hand, I love Beavis and Butthead. But they're just kind of dumb, you know? Look at you with your fancy fucking pop figures. Was that a pop figure?
Yeah.
Those are worth some dough now, aren't they? That's the Ren and Stimpy ones.
This one is, and I fucked the box up.
How many dicks did you have to squeeze to get those?
Only 3. 2 of them was
That's it?
uncircumcised, and 1 of them was cut.
Dude, I squeezed at least 4 to not get them because I hate that cartoon so much.
Dude, so when I was a kid, I had an alarm clock that was Nickelodeon, and it looked like an old beatbox,
Sweet.
and it was purple and gray, and it had like this, like the heart rhythm, but it was neon green. It was like a tube that went across
Cool.
the top, and when it would sound, it would sing the Nickelodeon theme song, loud and obnoxious as fuck. But I love that alarm clock.
Man, I wish you knew what happened to it. Like, it would be crazy to see one of those. Have you ever tried looking it up on eBay or anything?
Yes, but I mean, it's been several years ago. I think it was when Audie and I first got married. I found it and it went for like what, 300?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
I
Man,
had
that's
a
absurd.
I had a Stimpy, it was like not like a doll, but like stuffed animal that you would squeeze and it'd make like a farting noise.
And the tongue flap,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the tongue flap.
I
Dude,
remember that, dude.
so I know what happened to it, but I tried finding it again, and again, it was like a couple $100 for that thing. Unreal, dude. I wouldn't pay that much. I'm only
I
saying that
really
because
like
she's on here, but I'll probably pay that much later. But
eventually, right? Like when the time is right and the
Yeah.
money's right.
yeah, when she's like
Like
not home.
if the lights go off in the house and Brittany's like, "Who? You didn't pay the light bill?" No, but I
Nope.
got this sweet fucking Snippy figure.
Listen, honey, it used to sound like a fart, but now it sounds like a queef.
That's when you know you got problems, man. So what did you grow up on, Audie? You're a little bit older than me, not too much, but would you consider yourself an 80s kid or a 90s kid?
So I was born in 84, so I'd say born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. It about 1989 is when I started being self-aware of things. It seems like 5 to 7 years old, that age group, it seems like kids and even myself can remember shit from that age. Now I can't remember shit from like 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't remember any of that. But like
Or 2 weeks ago.
I remember in here.
Right. I'm the same way.
Well, well, you get older, you kind of go backwards. I remember 5 years old because my mom beat the shit out of me at 5 years old because I set the mayor's yard on fire.
You set the mayor's yard on fire?
Yeah, that's when I started remembering.
Okay. Tell me this story. I got to hear about it. We'll get back. Somebody please remember where we were at, but now I got to hear about this.
We'll come back to me what I grew up on.
Yeah, I got to hear the fucking mayor thing. Unless you want to save it for another episode.
Oh no, we're going to bring it out.
Let's fucking do it, Daddy-o.
So 5 years old. And it's funny because it leads into another story when I was like 8, and we'll go to that one too. It has to do with fire, and you're gonna laugh your ass off. My good buddy John Caswell was my neighbor. Him and I grew up since we were like sperm. We were tight. 5 years old. At this point, I've already had the cops called on me for busting a black lady's flower pots on her porch. I had the neighborhood kids wanting to beat me up because they were sliding, and it was one of those metal slides, and they wouldn't allow me to slide. So I took mud and water and I poured it down the slide so they couldn't slide.
Nice.
And they chased after me, and I remember running for my life.
You know what they call that? Domestic terrorism.
Well, I was that kid. And I remember running into the apartment and shutting the door, and I was like, "Dad, they're out to get me." And my dad's like, "What the hell?" And he opens the door, and it's like 6 or 7 kids like wanting to kick my ass. And my dad's like, "Get the fuck out of here," you know? But John Caswell was my partner in crime. We were firebirds. Like, we would set anything on fire. Like, we'd have little toys, we'd set them on fire. So in Florida, we had really bad droughts. Like, it wouldn't rain for fucking months. And what's weird is, as I got older, it seemed like big droughts went away, but that's here nor there. And we collected this big pile of leaves, and I had matches, and I lit it, and I was like, oh, well, this type of grass that the mayor had looked like shit on a football field, and it was dead. It was like it was like this high, and it was like coarse hair, kind of like Britney's hair when she dyes it too many times. Like it was like this thick, and from the pile
Someone's being a dick.
from the pile of leaves, it just spread, dude. It was like, if I had to guess what AIDS looked like in like the 60s and 70s, that's how it spread. Like, this whole yard was like,
God damn.
And yeah, I know, right? Like, quite the comparison. Like,
yeah, it spread like
imagery
AIDS.
effects, imagery alert.
Like, the whole yard was like fire. And
so you lit a fucking little pile of leaves on fire, and the wind blew it to the neighbors, and you just so happen to live next door to the mayor, or what?
So where the apartment was, there was like this old shitty fence, and then that was the mayor's yard. Where the piles of leaves was right there, and some of it ran into his yard. And in Florida, Smokey and the Bear, or that fucking forest-free bear.
Fucking
Yeah.
only you can prevent forest fires.
Well, well, you know,
right?
I only listened to him because he gave me lollipops and like little baggies at school.
Apparently, Audie can't prevent fucking forest fires.
And
Fucking
I
pyro.
Is it a coincidence that you were about 5 years old and you set the mayor lawn on fire? And that's right around the time Smokey the Bear came out. Is that a coincidence, or what do you think? Foreshadowing, maybe?
Yeah, I need my royalty check.
Some of the worst people ever came from Florida. You realize that it's God's junk drawer, right?
Listen, I put that goddamn bear in business.
We're talking Ted Bundy, Eileen Wuornos, the Gainesville Ripper, Audie Marsh, all from Florida.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the fucking show. Anyway, this yard went up like fucking the Kardashians' marriage. Like it went up in flames, dude. Like,
whoa.
I remember John
These analogies are just
like John fucking was like, fuck you, dude. Like legit 5-year-old John Caswell, fuck you, I'm out. I'm sitting there with like black soot all over me and fucking matches, fire trucks, me. I'm like, oh fuck. I run inside. My sister, which fucking got me in trouble even more. She was the first person I remember running to, and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm telling mom." And I'm like, "Fuck. Like, no, help me put this out." Mom comes, and what was weird,
remember when you made me empty the dishwasher last week, you prick?
Yeah.
Mom! Yeah,
exactly.
That's what she did.
So it was the apartment, mayor's yard, and a factory, and that's where my mom worked. Like my mom's work was 2 fucking like blocks away. So my sister calls. She's like, "Step outside and look over at the apartments." And she went outside because they didn't have portable phones. She had to put the phone down and shit because this is like 19 fucking 89, 90.
yeah.
It looked like the Fern Gully, like fire fucking everywhere.
She's almost as bad as one of the kids with the World Star thing. It's like you're watching this old man get beat up, and you're like, "World Star, baby!" Instead of helping, like she could have helped, legitimately, like stopped there might have been a chipmunk family in there getting burned alive. Instead, she's like, "Dude, check this out! The world's on fire. It's the mayor's fucking front yard." All she had to do was like turn on the fucking garden hose, but instead she fucking ran so far away to get you in trouble.
Your
sister
went up in
sucked,
flames,
man.
Yeah, to this day I still don't like her for it. But. So mom got home.
Unfortunate. That sucks.
Yeah.
What a
mom
bitch.
got home, beat my ass. Dad got home from work, beat my fucking ass. John didn't get his ass whooped. I didn't snitch.
Because snitches get stitches, right?
Right.
So that was that. And then fast forward real quick, we'll get back to what I grew up on. Fast forward about 3 years later, we moved. Oh, the mayor died like 3 days later.
In the fire?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No.
Oh my God.
Oh shit!
No,
that came out
There
wrong.
need to be a comma in there somewhere.
Comma.
Right. I was just so into the story, man. I was like, what?
Yeah. So the whole yard was fucked. The mayor dies 3 days later, but before that, I had to go over there, apologize. Fire department.
3 days?
3 days later, he died of a
3
heart
days
attack.
after you burned his fucking bushes down.
Yeah.
Like a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
He died.
He died. And I remember having to go.
Was it of depression because he won yard of the month? And he fucking killed himself? Like
probably he had some.
Why he died 3 days later?
He had some weird grass. All right. This
weird
grass was flammable.
I bet it was real weird after it fucking got burnt to shit.
It looked good after it, because you burn something that comes back greener. So you're welcome, Mayor Bonifay.
I don't know, man. Like they do prairie burns. I used to work for the conservation district, and we would do prairie burns and stuff. But I don't think grass works that way.
You know what? I like the
fucking Kentucky bluegrass that he paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars for.
I like to consider myself someone who gives other people opportunities in life.
To what? Fucking pay for new grass seed?
Look. I did that mayor a fucking favor. His grass came back greener. I gave fire department opportunities for work.
But he died 3 days later. He didn't live long enough to
Look,
enjoy his new grass.
wasn't
he
my
did. He
problem.
saw the greener grass on the other side.
Of what? Heaven's Gates?
Yeah.
All
Grass
right.
was greener. Fire department had job security. I strengthened. Listen to me. I strengthened my parents as parents. I found out my sister was a big fucking snitch. I found out who my real friend was, booked on me. It was a whole life lesson within an hour of burning this guy's fucking yard on
So
fire.
the moral of the story is, ladies and gentlemen, if Audie Marsh moves to your town, he is 100% job security for firemen.
Yeah, I like
And
to
you better
think,
make sure you have good
I'm an
grass.
entrepreneur.
Right.
I give
Keep it wet,
opportunity to people.
motherfucker.
I give people opportunity. But so like 3 years later, another apartment.
I'm putting that on a fucking job application that I don't want to get hired at. I'm gonna go to this shit gas station and be like, I give people opportunities. And in my interview, what do you mean? Well, there's one time I set a bush on fire, and motherfuckers need to work.
You saying that, like that entire fucking that entire paragraph that you just said has so many puns in it.
Look, I'm the pun star.
I'm talking about Darin.
He's my.
He was
I
like,
tried.
No,
I provide
Darin is
people
nothing but a guy.
opportunities. And how do you do that? Well, I lit somebody's bush on fire. Well, what kind of bush?
It's called chlamydia, Darin.
Oh, I get it. This whole fucking time,
Yeah.
I thought that, it burned when I peed because I was trying to put out your fucking fires by pissing on them. Come to find out, I have an STD. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Pretty
The
much.
stud.
So, back to what I was setting on fire. 3 or 4 years later, we moved. So The Crow came out. Do you remember in the movie The Crow where the fire scene and it makes the shape of the
Yeah,
crow?
when he killed, I forgot his fucking name, but he was in the hot rod and he crashed it.
Yeah.
And then he fucking lit it, and it was the crow that, like, he did the fucking outline in gasoline, right?
Yeah.
What was that fucking guy's name? He was the leader of the gang. I can't remember his name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
So
Tad? No.
I don't exactly remember. But
it doesn't really matter. But
I took
being a fucking host of a fucking one of the hosts of a podcast, you think I would know that shit? And I feel like a jerk off now. It's one of my favorite movies, but I think his name was Tad. But anyway,
I don't remember. So
I know exactly what you're talking about.
My parents smoked cigarettes, and my dad had a Zippo. So the fucking oil, the yellow Zippo
butane
oil. That's not butane. The liquid, what's the shit called?
It's called lighter fluid, dummy.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, I'm so used to gasoline, I can't remember these things.
Like the fluid you put in a lighter to make it's lighter fluid.
So, but the
I
yellow
couldn't remember
bottle.
the guy's name from The Crow, so I feel just as dumb.
So I took lighter fluid to this cheap like plastic tile floor in the kitchen, and I made a fucking crow. I made a goddamn crow.
You did?
And I lit it.
Whose floor was it?
And I lit it.
The apartment I lived in, my parents.
Your own house? Your own apartment?
Yeah, man.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
So my idea was I'll put it out before it starts burning it. Like it looked really cool. It was like this big ass fucking flaming crow. It almost looked like a phoenix. That's how big it was. And I couldn't get it out, man. I was like, I had a towel. It burnt like a Great Value brand looking crow in this towel. And parents came home from work. I had to tell them I spilled eggs. I burnt eggs, and they beat my ass. They didn't believe me.
Of course not. It looked like a bird.
But again,
like that's a coincidence from hell when you break a fucking bird fetus that's on fire and it crashes on the floor and like, oh, it just happened to fucking look like a bird in the pattern. You know what I mean?
It looked good to me.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't believe you either.
But the moral of the story is I gave the apartment maintenance job security. I gave my
fucking job security.
I gave my parents experience to be parents.
Right.
again, I found out my sister was still a snitch. I didn't have nobody around as a friend, but the moral of the story was is I was a disastrous opportunist. Like I gave people job security.
You're a fucking
Um,
pyromaniac.
I was.
Yeah,
Darren,
I would
this
think so.
motherfucker will put Germex on his hand and light that shit on fire just so that it turns blue.
Well, that kind of makes sense because Germ-X only kills 99.9% of germs.
Yep.
So the lighter thing kills the other 0.9 that's left over, right? That kind of makes sense.
0.1.
That's
And
Hey.
it's 0.1%.
that's fine too. Whatever. I don't do math. I
Wait.
do podcasts.
Wait a minute. You know what? I wanna show the people who's viewing something real quick.
It totally was 0.1%, wasn't it?
I think it
Brittany's
was.
right. I just did the math. I'm pretty sure Brittany's right. It checks out.
He's
Check
not
it
checking it. He's not checking it out on the calculator. He's
No. I got something
he's
else.
plotting shit.
So, Audie, who would you blame for the fact that you had access to lighter fluid and you were a terrible child that lit your kitchen on fire? Was it mommy and daddy's fault or was it your fault?
Yeah, because they were smokers. What is that
You're
guy
a dick
doing?
for that, by the way.
This guy's. What are you doing?
Burning my arm because I was hammered and I was sending you a
Is
private
that
video.
Darin?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
me.
That's my
Thank
boy.
God. I
This
thought he
arm
was
has
about to do
no
a video
hair.
of me.
See,
Look
look,
at that. It's
no hair.
It's as smooth as a baby's
Hair.
bottom.
No hair, because I burnt the shit out of my arm last night.
So look, again, we're
I really thought
opportunists.
that he was about to like conspire against me and
I thought he was too. I totally thought he was doing something sneaky, and he was, but it
You
wasn't
sneaky bitch.
And I'm entrepreneur.
So,
You're an
whose fault
opportunist.
is it? What do you think? Do you blame your mom and dad? Like, do you think that they were assholes for leaving? I know it was a different time, man, and we're gonna get into stuff like that about nostalgia and the way we grew up and how our kids are raised. But like, being an adult now, do you like, well, my mom and dad shouldn't have fucking had lighter fluid laying around, or like, do you blame them for letting you watch The Crow, or like how was it like? Do you have lighter fluid laying around your fucking house for your son or daughter to fucking set the couch on fire? Like, do you take precautions that our parents didn't because it was a different time? And I know people get offended by that. A different time. It was a different time. You were allowed to say things and do things in certain periods of time and get away with it. So, like, how would you compare the two? Like, do you think that's mommy and daddy's fault, or was Audie just a fucking asshole?
I'm probably going to lean towards the fact that I was just an asshole.
You'd have found lighter fluid either way, whether it was in the cupboard or the garage.
I would have used fucking paper.
I think it's hereditary because what was your son doing the other day?
Yeah, I caught him lighting his plastic sword. I walked upstairs. I was like, "Is that a candle?" And I walk in there, there's a fucking plastic sword. I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing?" He's like, "Just trying to fix it, Dad." And I was like, "No,
fix it. You burned it.
I was like, "I don't think you can do that." I didn't really get onto him. I got onto him, but I didn't get onto him like I probably should have. You know what I mean? Like, this was fucking fire. So
yeah.
I threatened his life just a little bit. And I put the light. It was one of those big candle, like, yeah, it's right there where she's at. And if anything, I'm gonna blame Brittany for leaving it around. Yeah, that's the.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you guys
Yeah.
don't even smoke, right? So that's for candles.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
He got up there. It's pretty high too. He got up there and did a little thing. I mean, I can't. Well, I don't blame you.
It definitely sounds hereditary. I think Brittany's right about that.
I hope it's not. You know, when I was thinking that, I smelt that. The first thing I thought of.
You should be proud of him because he almost created jobs. You almost had to call the fire department.
There you go. Oh, well, we did. He wanted to cook.
Brittany's like, dude,
yes, I'll tell you that story.
He did.
When
this whole house almost caught on fire.
He was downstairs watching TV. I was upstairs on the phone with a good friend of mine, and he come upstairs. He said he was hungry. I said, "Okay, give me a few minutes. I'm wrapping up this phone call. I'll be down there to make you something to eat." he was like, okay. So he come back down here, and you know those little like cheese bites? You can put like 5 of them on a plate, put them in the microwave for like 30 seconds,
Yeah.
and they're done. Yeah. So pause and rewind like 3 or 4 days ago, or 3 or 4 days prior, we were having issues with our smoke detectors, like the batteries and shit were going out or whatever. So they were all triggering one another, and we got them all fixed. So I'm upstairs on the phone and I hear the fucking smoke detector go off, and I was like, that goddamn battery again, you know? So I come down to address the situation, and I'm at the top of the steps, and I'm looking down at Bentley, and I see like this plume of smoke in the ceiling, and I was like, oh fuck. So I like jump down, Superman, down to the living room, and I snatch him over. I put him in the floor. I tell him to keep his head down, and I run to the source of the smoke, and it's the fucking microwave. He had that son of a bitch set to like 30 fucking minutes. I
Damn.
had a little fire going on. I'm over here trying to open up windows and shit, and then we finally went outside, had the fire department come check everything out. They moved the microwave to the backyard. Everything was good. Come back in, fix him a sandwich. He went back to watching TV.
Like nothing happened. Wasn't
And
even
then
fake.
I went to the
Opportunity.
bedroom, and I was like having a whole ass adrenaline dump. And I heard like a lot of beating around underneath the bed, and I was like, oh, that's probably Marlo just doing cat shit, you know, doing dumb shit. And then he like makes this like weird meowing sound, and I hear like a fluttering noise. And I like leaned up out of the bed, and he's walking out of the bedroom with a fucking bird in his mouth. Okay.
Oh shit, that's an eventful day.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm like, oh fuck, you know, and like I saw like ghetto cat in his eyes, like I bitch, I've seen the fucking wild.
So, but let's break it down. Bentley gave the firefighters job security. He fed the cat, and he gave his mother almost a heart attack. He's an opportunist. He's just like his daddy.
Well, here's what I get from it. She said that she jumped down. It's like what you guys need to install is a pole from top floor to
Might
bottom
as
floor.
fucking
Because
well with all the goddamn pyros I got in my fucking house.
that's what I'm saying. So like that's like multiple reasons.
Opportunist.
Fire safety, you could slide down. Sexy time in the bedroom, aerobics. Poles can be used for several things. You might have to insert a fucking stripper pole there. I mean, a fire pole there, Audie.
Do I go live when I do that too, or what?
I wouldn't, but you know.
If we want to go
Opportunist.
that route, so this fucker bought something off the old Amazonian, right?
Oh no.
Amazonian? Is that what you called it?
Yeah. Send me a fucking text and he was like, hey, we got to try this, right? So I come home from work, and he's got this motherfucker, this contraption fucking rigged to the damn bathroom door.
Like a sex swing?
Yes. Yes. So before we could commit, we had to test it out. So
You put the cat in it first? That seems like the safest route.
no, but I looked like one falling out of a goddamn tree. So he
You're
goes
like
up against the door. I'm sitting here trying to fucking rig whatever the fuck is going on. Like insert foot here and ass here.
Like, what
back.
hole was this for? My head or my fucking?
No,
Like
for
I was
real.
all over the
What's
fucking
going on?
place.
It was confusing.
It was very fucking confusing. So we got like a few pumps, if you will, mock pumps.
Right.
And I end up slipping out in the back, and like my right leg comes flying out, and I'm stuck between him. My left leg stuck between the swing and him in the door, and I'm just fucking hanging there like, fuck me. And it wasn't 2 days later that I come across a post online. This bitch tried to do the same shit and ended up splitting her damn mouth open.
Ugh.
That would have been me.
But
that sounds awful. Fuck that.
Needless to say, we
traumatizing.
never used it. It's still, we just stuck to missionary after that.
Yeah.
Like strictly, like we're going Jewish, babe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
straight
I'm
up
sorry that I
missionary.
tried to fucking expand.
I'm too fucking lazy anyway. I ain't got time for that shit.
Right?
It happens.
But the end of the fucking burning the house story, I had to get the fucking bird out of Marlo's mouth, and I'm calling Audie. He was like, "Pictures, it didn't happen." I was like, "Okay, well, I gotta hang up." So
I didn't
I
believe
go
her.
to take pictures, and Marlo's eyes are like this fucking black, And I was like,
Yeah,
"Shit,
your
let me go
cat
get
was in
the."
kill mode, dude.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
he still
And
ain't never been right since.
no,
Right.
no fucking way.
Yeah,
So I go into the laundry room, get the fucking broom, and I open up the
bastard.
door, and a goddamn bird like flies out and hits me in the fucking shoulder, scares the living piss out of me, comes over here to the carport door and shits on the door after it lands.
What a dick.
I was
So
like,
it was
fuck.
alive. The cat didn't kill it. He just kind of had a clamp on it.
No, I had 2 birds in my house.
2 fucking birds. You got to get another cat then.
What's
And
the
he's a piece
saying?
of shit. He don't do nothing.
One stone is better than 2 birds in the bush.
Yeah, that's exactly what they
What?
said.
And that,
I think
and
that
that
was
the
in the
quote?
Bible. I'm almost positive it was in the Bible that Stan Lee wrote. Something like that.
What?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I remember it
two-
off of RoboCop. RoboCop
Yeah.
2.
Might have been that one.
Yeah.
I thought it was
The 11th
2 birds,
greatest
1
movie of
stone.
all time.
The
It
11th
is-
greatest.
The 11th, yeah.
Damn,
He
maybe
makes
made
fun
it
of
to
all my
top
favorite
10.
movies, so I figured I'd at least boost his down like 10 notches and make it the 11th best.
11th. I'll take it. It could be
I
the
hope you
worst.
fucking do, you bastard. So what'd you grow up on?
So
Besides squeezing dicks and setting shit on fire.
so after the fire stages and shit, I grew up on, if we're talking like toys and shit.
Yeah,
Are
dude.
we
Everything.
going that route?
Cartoons, toys.
Well, cartoons to me, what I grew up on as far as cartoons, it was Saturday morning cartoons. All right, that was
Right.
it. And Channel 19 was USA, and the adult cartoons like Duckman,
Like
what's the other one?
Darkwing Duck and shit. Like,
Well, Duckman was
I
like
don't
that.
remember Duckman.
Oh, dude. It was like the late night adult cartoons, That's what I grew up on, was like Ghostbusters, the Muppet Babies.
Muppet Babies was the shit.
Oh yeah,
I loved
Teenage
it.
Mutant Ninja Turtles. The real cartoons, not like these were cartoons. I know Brittany's probably never seen these cartoons, but these kind of cartoons were actually hand drawn cartoons, and it was like layered. Like that's how
Right.
cartoons were done. Brittany's
And most of the
generation is like the
cartoons from-
digital SpongeBob type cartoons.
Right. Most of the
Yeah.
cartoons from our era too, like the toys came out first, and then they're like, "How are we gonna sell these fucking toys?"
Yeah.
And then that's when they started doing cartoons,
Well,
like
that's like
Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think was a
Yeah.
comic book first, but like He-Man and all that shit, they were toys first, and then
I
the way they
honestly-
could fucking
I don't recall really watching that many cartoons like when I was younger. It was like Three's Company and fucking The Nanny and All in the
Fran
Family.
Dresser, annoying voice, but super
Yes.
sexy.
So
She
like
was
all
gorgeous,
those,
but goddamn was her voice annoying.
was that Nick at Night?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Nick at Night, dude.
Dude, Dick
Yeah.
Van Dyke, Mary Tyler Moore, The Odd
Oh.
Couple, the fucking monsters.
Green
The
Acres was
monsters. dude,
Green
was
Acres was
jam.
my shit. Green Acres was my shit. That and
Green
Dragnet.
Acres.
Oh, I loved Green
Fucking
Acres, bro.
hillbilly motherfucker.
Dude,
Every
Green
time I
Acres was
try
the
to give you the
shit.
benefit of the doubt, because your neck's not red at all, I can't call you a redneck. You're not really from the hills. You're from the fucking panhandle of the fucking universe.
The greatest
And then you
state.
go and say that shit, I can't defend you anymore, man.
Dude, you just gotta accept it. Again, I'm an opportunist. I give
Opportunist.
Green Acres, Dragnet.
Was the life for me?
Yeah, that was the shit, man. My grandmother got me hooked on that shit. And then I love Lucy. That's all the shit.
Hell yeah, Lucille Ball, fucking.
Yeah. You know what?
My dad hated that bitch, but it was crazy to watch those like in the 50s. Like they had separate beds. Like we all know that they were a married couple and they slept in the same bed, but on TV they had to stay in separate beds. And my dad explained that to me. He's like, that's what it was like and when I was a little kid watching TV in the 50s, they were super PC. before we knew what fucking PC was, you know?
Yeah.
You know, fun fact, whenever she was pregnant, multiple episodes she was hiding behind certain objects within the room to
Yeah.
I
conceal
didn't
her
know that.
pregnancy. Mm-hmm.
I did see not that long ago that she straight up, this is gonna sound fucking crazy, but she accidentally discovered like a terrorist organization from the Chinese in America. And this was on that fucking sounds crazy, but she was driving her fucking car and she got this crazy pain in her mouth. And it was because it was like when they first started doing fillings or whatever, and the radio in her car was interfering with the metal in her tooth. And she got this crazy pain in her mouth. And then when she went to the dentist, they explained, like, oh, you had your fucking radio on, probably. This is happening now. People are getting pains in their mouth. Well, another fucking time she was driving home, she heard fucking Chinese voices, right? Straight up. And she heard them in her fucking mouth, like in her ear, in her fucking mouth. She's like, I heard Chinese people talking in my fucking mouth. And then they, like, the FBI got involved and they were like, where were you at when this happened? She was like, I was on this road. It was right around this intersection. And they busted this fucking house. And there was a bunch of Chinese motherfuckers in there, like, conspiring, like, an attack. And they busted these people. And it was all through a filling in her fucking tooth that interacted with their radios, like, in their house. Does that make sense? Like, they had the fucking radio going on in their house. When she drove by it, she got this crazy pain, and she heard bing dong ting bong dong dong down, you know. And then she was like, "Dude, this fucking happened." And then like that's when they fucking went in on it, and like they busted this house. I don't know if it's real, but I read it on the fucking internet, man.
Oh, it's definitely real, bro.
It has to be. It's gotta be real. I swear to God, though, it was one of those YouTube videos of like 10 fucking facts you didn't know about fucking celebrities. And like the number one was like Lucille Ball busted a fucking Chinese criminal organization.
Lucy died in a car wreck, didn't she? Didn't she get like her head cut off?
I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar at all.
Yeah, I think she died.
I have no idea. Lucille Ball?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is why we need the fucking the fourth guy with the fucking laptop. I fucking set my laptop on the air hockey table because I was pissed, but I totally could have Googled that right now. But
I got you, man.
I'm
gonna put it. We're gonna find out right here. I could be wrong. The internet could be right. Yep, I was wrong. Abdominal aortic aneurysm at the age of 77.
Abdominal aortic aneurysm? Your aorta is in your heart. So like did something bust in her fucking stomach and she fucking internally bled to death? That's what it sounds like.
I'm gonna let Google say it.
So Brittany, what kind of cartoons do you watch now? Do you watch any cartoons as an adult, or what do your kids watch?
Yeah,
do your kids watch cartoons where you're like, oh, this is cool, or this is lame?
Real quick, this is what it is.
What up?
Abdominal aortic aneurysm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yo, Lucy looked like shit when she was old.
Most people do. Betty Page was hot as fuck, but right before she died, she fucking looked awful too.
Elvira, I think, drinks from the fountain of youth. Anyway, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
And Tom Cruise.
Fucking shit that the kids watch.
Yeah, like, is there anything, like, what could you compare the things that your kids watch to today as to what, like, you watched as a kid? Like, how different is it, or how similar is it?
Not a goddamn thing
that's similar about it
is remotely similar to the shit that I grew up on.
Like, cartoons today for kids just doesn't capture what we grew up watching. Like, there was actually a plot and like a theme to what we like. We watched cartoons, and guess what? Next Saturday, it's gonna pick up from the last one,
right?
You know? So, and that was with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters. You know, even the Muppet Babies had little series. You know,
yeah, part 1s, 2s, things like that.
Angelica, Magellan's Castle. Y'all remember that shit?
No, Eureka's Castle.
Eureka's Castle, dude, that was my shit.
I remember getting the hand puppets at Pizza Hut.
Yeah, Man,
And like you
So-
couldn't move them or nothing; they were so stiff, but it was still cool to have, and you just bang them together.
that one, it even seemed like we were learning something with those type of cartoons.
Right.
With especially on Nickelodeon, but then like your Saturday morning cartoons like Mighty Mouse, um, they just had meaning and plot.
X-Men was fucking amazing in the 90s, and like
Oh,
where
yeah.
every single episode ended, the next one picked off. But Brittany, I feel like you were going to say something before we went on our little tangent about how the episodes continue. What were you going to say? Do you remember?
So, like, in grade school, it was like a morning routine before I would go off to school or wait for the bus or whatever. We would watch Pokemon and Sailor Moon every fucking morning, and I always had my fucking Pop-Tart in my hand.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, I can't even think of a time that the kids like actually sit down and watch a fucking cartoon on TV. It's always something on YouTube.
Right.
Always. They're watching like a series of what some kid played jokes on their classmates, or fucking what toy this person's playing with, or what video game they're playing on YouTube.
Yeah, like nowadays, like kids don't even have the opportunity to build their own opinion on stuff because they'd much rather watch someone else talk about what they think about what just happened. Like, I'm going to watch a video of someone else watching a video, and then they're going to tell me what they think about it. Like, how fucking far out is that, man? Like, where's the common ground, dude?
You know what? When I was a kid, it was like you and I, Darren. If we sat down in front of a Nintendo and it was only a one-player game, I'm gonna sit there and just hope and pray you die, because the quickest you die, the quickest I get the fucking controller.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't see how kids can sit here and just be like, watching these other kids like play these games and shit, and I'm just like, this is
And
so
most of these
cringy
games
and
nowadays
mind-blowing.
don't even have levels. Like, there's no sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
They're just building shit. Like, where's fucking level 9? You know what I mean? Like, how do you conquer the flag? How do you kill the guy? Like, you're just building stuff. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I will say, like,
I don't
with
get it.
Bentley though, whenever he is playing games like on the PlayStation, like, yeah, obviously plays fucking Minecraft and builds all his shit, but like if he's playing Battlefield, like he goes in with a legit mission to fuck shit up.
Nice.
Yeah, the Battlefield games, he goes after it, and maybe that goes back to his daddy's genetics, and he knows that his daddy
And moms.
is an opportunist. So what he's trying to do is he's giving the morgue a fucking job security. He's getting families paid. Like, it runs in the blood. It's opportunity.
I'm just gonna say it, man. Audie Marsh, fucking when's the next election? 2024.
Opportunist.
Yeah, dude.
Support the troops.
Yeah. What I don't like
Entrepreneurs.
about these fucking new games is like you let your fucking kid play Roblox, and then they want you to spend your real money so they can have fake money in the game. They're like, Christmas is coming up. I need to buy a Santa suit for my character. And I'm like, motherfucker, no. Like, I'll take you to the mall and I'll buy you a Santa suit, but I'm not going to buy your fake fucking character a Santa suit.
They cost like $20 fucking dollars.
It is absurd. Fuck that.
It does blow my mind, but I fell victim into that because Brittany and I were talking today. It's like, what are we going to get the kids? I was like, give them some money and some Roblox cards. It's just like,
because it's so hard
they don't
to understand like what they like, because I don't even think that they realize what the fuck they like, because it's constantly changing. Like one day, our daughter wants, long nails and wants to look like something she's seen on fucking YouTube, but then the next day she wants to go play a sport and do tomboy shit. And then you got Bentley over here who wants to shoot guns one day and then turn around today, as a matter of fact, wants to grow up to be a boxing coach and make a whole bunch of money.
Yeah. It's
So I don't fucking know. Do I get the kid fucking Robux or do I get him a punching bag to take out all of his frustration?
so
Right.
so
And
here's the
whatever
thing.
is trending changes the way we
All the
change our
time.
fucking underwear, dude. It's like now fucking Ghostbusters is the shit because the new movie, but Spider-Man's going to be the bomb next month because that movie's coming out.
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
So Darin and I, girls are a little different, but Darin and I, um, we grew up on toys where we would actually fight motherfuckers. Like I
Absolutely,
collected
100%.
the
G.I. Joe was my jam.
GI Joe. I had the whole set to Mortal Kombat. I had
Dude, me
Goro.
too.
I
I had
had
Kano's
Raiden.
motorcycle. I
Yeah,
wish I had them. Those are some
dude.
fuck the G.I. Joes and Ninja
that's
Turtles. I wish I had the Mortal Kombat
Mortal
action
Kombat.
figures.
But it
Because
was
they were the
that
fucking
one
6-inch
series.
motherfuckers that looked
Yeah.
just like the G.I. Joes.
Yep.
With the rubber band and the fucking
Rubber.
weights.
And then like Scorpion had his little, you could actually tie his fucking shit. But I actually played
You can only get Goro at Toys R Us, and it came in a Johnny Cage.
Cage.
It
Yep.
was a
And
fucking pack,
it
man.
was expensive as fuck. And I begged my mom. I was like, if this is the only toy you get me for the rest of the year, I don't give a shit. I wanted it.
It was probably like $35 in like
Yeah.
1995, and I don't even know what that is now.
96, yeah.
And I had Kano's motorcycle that shot little fucking
little
fireballs out of it. I had that motherfucker. Those are some toys I really wish I could get back, dude.
But like kids, like my son doesn't want figures. He'll say he'll want them, but he doesn't play with them like you and I. It's like he plays with them as they're like an actual another person in front of him, opposed to what you and I used to do. We used to go in and we were like the puppet master, like, here's Scorpion and here's Sub-Zero. But his imagination is the little Scorpion is actually Scorpion and he's someone else. Like, it's weird. I've watched him and I'm like, dude, take that motherfucker and kill that motherfucker with it. You know what I mean?
I used to play on the steps, and like sometimes the steps would be water, sometimes it'd be spikes, sometimes it'd be lava. You had to use your fucking brain,
Yeah.
Now at Thanksgiving, you're like, go fucking outside and play. There's nothing to do. You got a big ass deck. Pretend it's a fucking pirate ship.
Yeah.
And the whole grass is the ocean. And there's fucking mermaids coming with fucking vampire fangs and fucking throw rocks at them. I don't give a fuck. I'll pick the rocks up later. You know what I mean? Just go do some shit.
I'm just gonna go set mine on fire.
There you go. I mean, well, no. See, no.
I didn't never set my shit on fire though.
I used to set ants on fire with magnifying glasses.
Again, with the domestic terrorism shit. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Nah, just kidding.
You know what's crazy is she was burning ants while
I
was
did
out
it too.
while I was out getting poontang.
Big facts.
I'm like, what?
He asked me, he said, so
You guys got what, an 8 years difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when he told me the first time for him, he's like, what were you doing? And I was like, fucking on the sidewalk at grandmom's house, fucking burning ants with my magnifying glass.
Is that when you decided to marry her or what?
Nope.
Genuine. But yeah,
That's the closest to Eileen Wuornos you can get, right? You're like, hey, at least he's not killing fucking dudes on the highway. She's killing ants. Big deal, right?
I had a Furby.
Dude,
And it was
Furbies were a
possessed.
big deal in the 90s.
Yeah.
Furbies were fucking huge. And Tickle Me Elmos were so goddamn huge
yeah.
that trucks, like with the fucking Toys R Us brand on the side of the semi-trucks, were getting hijacked, dog.
Yeah.
People would fucking Fast and the Furious style these fucking Toys R Us trucks and fucking jack them for Tickle Me Elmos.
You know those little cubes that came out a few years back that had like the different little fidget things around them?
Yeah.
Okay.
For like with anxiety, it's like, and just little, like one would have like a fucking half of a dice on it. One would have like a PlayStation knob. One would have like a dial for like a fucking lock.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I had my Furby, you could stick your finger in its mouth and like the tongue would click. That's what I used it for.
Really?
I
Oh,
could
shit, my-
never. The Furby we had, like, I was so like sold on the fact that you could get it to start speaking English.
Yeah.
I could never get that son of a bitch to speak English. Like, I could never break. That's like
Because
the
it probably died.
Tamagotchis.
You didn't water enough.
Well, the
The fucking
Tamagotchis, I always
Tamagotchis.
killed the fucking
Every
dogs and shit
goddamn
on
time.
that.
Dude, I was gonna say that they have the little pocket fucking button video
Fucking
game
hated them
things,
things.
Tamagotchis or some shit. They would like poop and then they would die and turn into
Yeah.
a little fucking angel and fly up.
Yeah.
I remember those, and like all the girls had them, and I'm like, these are fucking lame. What is wrong
Yeah.
with you?
I used
But
to
it
get
was,
them just
one of
to,
those trending things in the fucking 90s, dude.
I
a post
used to
the other
just try to
day.
get. I used to just try to kill them. Like, I was like, this is dumb.
Try to kill it? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
I wouldn't feed it for
What
days.
sense
I'm
of
like,
accomplishment?
He's a
if I could
fucking homicidal
set it on
maniac
fire,
and get away with it digitally instead of in real life.
if I could have set it on fire in the little thing, I would have. Again,
Hasbro
an
had job
opportunist.
security.
An opportunist. I gave the creators of the Tamagotchi reason to make it better. I gave reason for my parents to raise me better. An opportunist.
So-
Opportunist.
So why did you join the army instead of being a fireman? Audie Marsh. He's got to think about it. You'd rather set the fires than put them out, right?
I don't run from the fire.
However,
I run
he
towards
he did execute fireman tactics
Oh, I forgot all about
several
that.
years ago on one of his
Oh,
calls.
hear me out. Here's a story real quick.
I was going to say, before you get into this, do you guys mind? First of all, I want to say, Brittany, it's 100% pleasure that you're on this, and I'm super glad that we did this. I'm 100% okay with her being in this motherfucking podcast every time. Like, this is the shit. I love having all three of us. And I would love to do some military stuff in the future if you guys are cool with that. If you guys are okay with talking about that shit. Because I'm sure you both got some wild stories to tell. And the great thing about it is you can create somebody else. That way you have plausible deniability. Be like, I didn't do this, but my homeboy Steve did this. And I saw
Like asking
Steve
for a
do
friend.
this to John.
Yeah,
Telling
You know
for
what
a
I mean?
friend. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, man.
I
I'm
would love
fucking
to
down
do
with
that,
it.
man. So I just want to say that before you tell your story, because I feel that the story you're about to tell is military related, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. You want to tell it now or you want to save it?
I can tell it now, and we can.
Let's do it.
We can do it.
This will
in
give
another
the
episode.
listeners a reason to listen in the future for all the military related.
Because I've got a bunch of stories, not just so much deployment stories, but working the road as law enforcement.
Right.
So I was about 20:30 at night, which is 8:30 civilian time. And my buddy Bracy, our job working the road, and when I say work the road, that means working law enforcement duties. Police car, the whole 9 yards. Our objective was to beat the fire to anything they got called to, because we had to go to anything regardless, but if it involved fire, we had to beat fire to the scene. I beat fire and everybody to this scene one night. It was a house fire. I roll up. I start directing everybody out of the house, all the kids, the dog, and then through the window, I see the fire getting bigger. And like I'm sitting there at my patrol car with everybody, standing off or whatever, and I'm like, I can't let this house burn down. Like, you know what I
You
mean?
can't stand there and watch it. You'd be the biggest piece of shit in the world. You got to do something.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know what you would do in that situation, but you got to at least like
So
something.
I was like, I can't let this fucking thing burn. So in the back of the patrol car, I pull out the fire extinguisher, and knowing that from what I saw from the window, this fire was pretty fucking huge. It's probably ain't gonna work, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So I run into the burning house, and like the whole like stove on up to the cabinet, it's already almost touching the ceiling. I think a little bit longer, it would have hit the ceiling. I wouldn't have been able to put it out. Dude, I nuked this whole fucking house with a sprayer. Sprayed all of it. I put it out. My patrol suit rolls up. They're like dabbing me up, congratulating me because we just beat fire to their own fucking job. And then the fire chief shows the fuck up and like pulls me off the side and chews my fucking ass. Needless,
Really?
yeah. He said, "You should have just let it burn. You could have. What do he say? You could have. You could have been the. What do he say? You could have been the reason why we had to go in and get you. Some stupid shit like that. Like you could have just put more into it than what it was worth, or
Right,
some
because
shit
you're
like
not
that.
trained to put out fires.
No,
Right.
So-
So I guess he's I guess he's
Right.
kind of right. Like you
you-
could have
you
fucking did something to
contributed.
make it worse.
Yeah,
But
contributed more to what the problem was, and I agreed with him, but I ended up getting an award for it. I got an award. I was recognized.
from
It
the
was
army gave you the award.
yeah, the Army.
Nice.
I think it was an AAM, which is a Army Achievement Medal. Uh, I actually
Yes.
saved a piece of paper with everything I did, and I don't know. It was corny, but the moral of the story is
It's not corny, man. Don't sell
He
Um,
yourself
made it to a
short, dude.
PowerPoint.
It's
yeah.
fucking badass.
The moral of the story is Audie's not
A
all the
little
way.
bitch.
I don't want everything to burn, you know.
Right.
Again, I was an opportunist. I gave the reason for the fire department to chew my ass. I got an award, so there I treated myself, and I saved this family's fucking shit from burning down. You know what I mean?
Right. Who knows? They could have had a fucking Beauty and the Beast pop figure in there that's worth like
Right?
$4,000.
They could have like had autographs and shit in there, but
Yeah.
she ended up saying she put uh a basket of laundry on the stove. That's what started the fire.
Was this when you were an MP or what? A military police officer? Is that
Yeah.
is that what the acronym is? The abbreviation? I mean, not acronym. It's MP, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
was this
military
like
police.
was this on base, off base? Like where did this happen?
That was
Was
on.
this a fucking? This wasn't. Was it a civilian's house?
It was a captain's house.
Oh shit! So
Yeah.
does the military bases have their own fire department too? Are they military involved, or are they just
Mhm.
fucking firemen like anywhere else?
No,
It just
it's
depends on what installation. Some installations they have we call them green suiters, so soldiers that are firefighters and civilians. And then like here, it's just civilians.
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term, I'm going to use the word cop. Like, did you show up as a cop and you fucking saw this fire and you grabbed your fucking fire extinguisher out of the trunk of your car, ran
Yeah.
in, and then the fire department shows up and they're mad at you
Yeah.
because you could have been a casualty,
Yeah.
'Cause
You
they
could've
have
or
been
you
job
could have
security.
been a fucking, you could have kicked over a fucking, a fucking pipe or something and made it worse, right?
Yeah.
But the army honored you for this. They were like, "Hey, dude, you got a big
Yeah.
fucking heavy hairy pear. Here's a fucking button, right?"
Well,
Yeah.
pretty much, but I think at that point of my life, it was a turning point. You know, all this time from burning
Did
the
you think that
mayor's.
you had to give back to the universe for all the fires
Yeah,
you set
I
as a
felt like
kid?
since I burnt the mayor's yard at 5 years old, I burnt the crow symbol in my parents' apartment floor. There was a few other fire incidents that I did that were just mediocre. I just felt like it was,
An epiphany.
yeah, I had to give back to
Right.
the I don't even know what to call it, fire gods? I don't know, something stupid like that, but, like, I had to give back, you know? I was
Pyro
always
gods.
taking, but I had to give back, so, um, it was great. I felt good just for the simple fact I get it, I saved the day or whatever, but I felt better that I gave back, and the old Audie would have just let that motherfucker burn. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna ask
It
you one
was a
question.
turning point.
We're approaching the 1 hour mark here. We're gonna try to keep our episodes down to 1 hour. I want to ask you the one question before we get it out of here, and then I also want to talk about one more thing briefly. This might be a stupid question, but were you scared before, like when you pulled up and you grabbed you opened the trunk and you grabbed your fucking fire extinguisher, went inside, were you scared? Or were you just like just blank? Or just like, this is just what I got to do? Like,
I pulled up, and typically most good police officers, military police, they pregame shit before they go into something. It's like
Play
natural.
out scenarios in your head.
They should pregame. Like when you get the call and you're hauling fucking ass, you should be playing that scenario in your head. Like, okay, the only information I got is A, B, and C. What am I gonna do if A, B, and C is here? And that's what I did. I was like a fire. I was like, fuck, I can't do shit about a fire. You know what I mean? Like
right.
this thing is gonna be engulfed. But I got
You
there.
weren't trained for it, right? Like they
No.
don't train you for fires,
No,
right?
I was just securing the scene and getting everybody out.
Right. That makes
You
sense.
know, and that's what I did. And we all were out by the curb, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna let this thing burn.
Yeah, you can't just stand there.
No.
Fuck.
Not once was I scared, to be honest. And I don't want to be like some badass, but it legit, I was not scared. I just
Like
ran in
adrenaline
there.
just comes over you.
Yeah.
Right. I assume that's what would happen.
Yeah. Well, after it was all said
I
and
know
done
you're not
with,
looking for clout, man, but I had to ask because I wanted to know.
Yeah.
I knew that you would give me a genuine answer, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I definitely wasn't scared. I'd do it
that's
again.
cool.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's, for a lack of a better word, like crazy, such a shitty word to use in that situation because it's not crazy. It's just it's brave and it's honorable and it's fucking nuts. And I appreciate the fuck out of it. And if you guys want to, I would love to dabble in some more of the military stuff with you guys in the future. Before we go, are you guys okay with ending since we're at the hour mark?
Yeah, let's do it.
We were live here, so we did have some comments. I noticed one comment earlier said that children's today's attention spans just aren't that as far as they used to be. We kind of already briefed on that. One of the last comments I saw scroll across was somebody said they miss Pogs.
Yeah.
So I want to say I miss Pogs too, and I love them. And if anybody wants to buy me, Audie, and Brittany Pogs, we're going to set up a fucking Patreon thing soon. We're going to set up a way for you to donate money to us, but it's not going to go into our pockets. We're going to fucking use this money to buy things for our listeners and for our viewers. You're going to get t-shirts, you're going to get patches, you're going to get stickers, you're going to get fucking sex swings. I don't know.
Dildos.
We haven't figured this out. This is only our first episode.
You know how many dildos I got that I could probably donate?
Are they sanitized?
They've never been used.
Like, I don't know how many dildos you have.
The floor
like,
is
her
yours,
face was like, wait a minute.
He bought one while he was in Korea, and I swear it was a gag gift, right? Just real quick. It takes batteries, and it's like the Wish brand of the rabbit. So
what's the rabbit?
Go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, I don't do sex toy stuff. I'm super vanilla when it comes to this.
Like yay tall, looks like a pecker, and then like right here it got like two little bunny ears.
Like for the clit or the butt? It just depends how you turn it.
Or
it's
either
literally
or.
like a rabbit.
So, but it has like solid piece, and then like some pearls in it, and then some like knobby things, and then so anyways, I put batteries in it.
This is not fair. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Brit, but this is not fair for women to have these things with knobs and bunny ears. It's like,
I can't.
You know what I mean? Like,
we
I only have what I have. I can't change it. I'll put it up in you. Like, fucking believe that.
Exactly.
But I tell you, this
it's
thing,
like now you fucking got knobs, shit's growing around. You got remote
goddamn
control.
pull starts.
You see the long ones, and
motor oil and shit.
They're intimidating, yes, but this one specifically.
Intimidating. That's a great word to use. Intimidating. For real.
This one specifically.
Intimidating for you to insert inside yourself, or intimidating for the man to be like, this is what my wife is doing now?
For any person witnessing how it functions.
Okay. Did it come with a manual?
No.
That's fucking. See,
I put
that's
the batteries in.
Because someone could have got injured.
Yeah.
Job opportunity right there.
Opportunities. onto
And I was
manure.
like, okay. And I turned it to like full mode, and it's like pow, 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 pow.
Yeah, this
You're
this thing
fucking,
was
that
breaking
thing
the
in the back of
wind.
your neck is going like. Brrrr.
Like it would fucking
one
kill.
like the base of it was the pearls going, and then the rabbit was doing its thing, and then the head was like this.
It was
I was like, what the fuck?
so I slowed it down a little bit, and like you can change the direction which it cycles, but I slowed it down so it was like, and so I decided to beef it back up, and it went. It was.
I can't compete to that. Like, what are we to do?
No, you
I'd
can't.
be scared to utilize such a
bullshit.
thing. Like my innards would be like none more.
I would
Like,
think
fuck
your walls
getting-
would just be fucking deconstructed like the Berlin Wall. Like your vaginal walls are like the Berlin Wall at this
Done.
point. It's like fucking wham,
split
you know?
shit, right?
Yeah,
That is absurd.
it's
That right there is like the perfect way to destroy your ability to have children. Absolutely.
Well, that or just enjoy sex after the fact because like you have all these crazy funny things that are amazing, and then when your husband slips it up in you, you're like, this isn't like the fucking doink doink that fucking flappy flaps.
Dude, that
You know?
shit's scary. It's traumatizing. There's no way.
My
So it
my
literally
wife,
has just
if
sat
my
there.
wife ever asked me for a vibrator, I would definitely buy her one, but it's not going to be bigger than my piece. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to get her a real short, skinny one because it's
Just
you
get
know
the
it's
Chloe
got
Willy.
no, because then I'm going to get replaced. You know, we already bought a fucking dishwasher. I already got replaced right there. We got vacuum cleaners. We got all kinds of shit. We replace each other constantly. You know what I mean? I
So-
got a bar. That replaces
quick.
her so I can be social. I got a podcast so I can hang out with you guys instead of her. I'm not buying her a fucking dildo. Are you kidding me? I would be erased from existence. There'd be nothing left of me. I'd be like,
you would be obsolete.
absolutely. I'd be like a little cloud of smoke. Just there's Darin blowing in the wind.
Audie was working the road one night, and he was like, babe, you're never gonna believe what I found. And I was like, what? And he sends me this picture, and I'm looking at it, and I couldn't really make sense to it, right? And he was like, babe, that's a double ender for you. And it was like this fucking long.
It was like,
and it's like
it was like a
charred,
yard, and it was like this. I
and
legit,
it was double ended. Like
we legit got called to that.
Oh,
They're
scissor
like,
me
hey, there's a
timbers.
there's a
That's
sex
like
toy in the
two
middle of the
dicks, right?
intersection. I was like,
That is absurd.
how the hell am I gonna go to this call and pick this fucking dildo up? Needless to say, I took a picture and I kicked it off the side of the road. I didn't.
I
pick that
would've.
motherfucker up.
Fuck it. Hopefully it biodegrades at some point. All right, we got to end this episode. Before this, though, I do want to say the coolest pornographic thing that I almost kind of fucking... I did find some pornographic stuff in the ditch. I used to live on this country road, right? My school bus dropped me off. I got out of the school bus, and I saw a magazine laying in the ditch. And I picked it up to throw it away. And, dude, it was a perfect... fucking a whole goddamn magazine, Playboy with Sable from WWF on the cover, and I've been jerking off to it for fucking 22 years.
You still got
I'm
it?
just kidding. It's in my collection. I haven't jerked off to it once, but
That's bullshit.
I know, dude. Shut up. We're live. So anyway, no, but this is real. Like I got off the school bus and I saw this magazine laying in the ditch, picked it up, throw it away. Stable from WWF on the cover, and like it was super rare because you can only get them at like certain stores. The only reason why I know this is because I was a big WWF fan. I was too young to know what fucking like I knew what Playboys were, but like this is before I was a collector or anything. But I knew that it was rare because Sable from WWF was on it, and it was just laying in the front of my house in the ditch on the country road. Like how fucking wild is it? I bet some fucking semi truck driver was rubbing one out and tossed it, didn't know what he had. And I'm like, this thing's worth like $100, dude. And this is in the 90s. It's probably worth more now. But I still
one
got
man's
it.
trash is another man's treasure.
Exactly. Just like this podcast. So what do you guys say about ending it? We're going to fucking get out of here.
Yeah.
Please pay attention. Next week, we'll fucking hit up Friday night.
Yeah.
And we're just going to keep the story going, man. This is just our
So-
introduction episode. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's
Any closing statements between
So-
you two that you guys want to do?
So what we got 5 right now just viewing. Be on the lookout. Darren and I are working through the bugs with this podcast. The few episodes is going to be like this, but eventually it's going to be on Anchor mainstream. The live thing is probably not going to be every time, but
Well, the audio for this is going to be uploaded to Anchor, right?
yeah. But eventually, once Anchor figures his life out, it'll just be more just the podcast listening. Unless people start liking these live feeds, I don't mind doing them.
Yeah. Whatever the
you know,
audience wants, man, we can do.
yeah. And then
As long as they don't want their front lawn set on fire, we can't do that
yeah,
anymore. But
if anybody is a mayor that's going to be listening to this or watching it, you probably don't want to listen to this because I burn your yard down. I'm an opportunist, so
Opportunist.
yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. But it's don't blame us. It'll be on Anchor. It's probably the shittiest podcast on Anchor.
Hey.
I disagree already.
Boom.
But
But that's it. That's all I got to say.
Brittany, any closing statements?
It's been a pleasure, gentlemen.
I'm glad that you're a part of this. This is really cool. It was impromptu, and we you hopped on, and I love it. I think this is what I think we just found our niche, and I think it's really cool. I enjoy hanging out with you guys regardless. So we might as well record the shit. You know what I mean? Irregardless, is that what you said?
No, I said I'm nervous.
Oh, I thought you were like irregardless. I thought you were trying to correct me because I'm like, irregardless is not a word. The word is regardless.
She's gonna secretly, we're gonna get off this, and she's gonna fucking beat my ass for bringing up her dildos.
See, I think by now the audience forgot about it, and you just brought it up again. You dumb. You should have just let it die. But all right, so we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna click the leave button, but before I click that button, we're all gonna click it at the same time. And I just want everyone to know, please stick around. And whether you agree or disagree with anything that we have to say, don't blame us.